Hey, Villainous lovers. CT here. I was going to play some games by myself on the old tabletop simulator. TTS is pretty great for being able to play games by yourself. Um, Basically, I just wanted to kind of record some games and show people kind of how I play characters and my thought process behind what I'm doing, and maybe talk strategy while I'm doing it. So hopefully it makes for some good content. Here we go. I always set camera to top down. Hopefully that will make it look make it easier to follow while you're watching. I think I'm gonna do Hook versus Ratigan today. That is, if I can pull the second box out. There we go. Oh, it looks like they've updated the mover since I've last hopped on here. That's pretty cool. Ratigan. The superior criminal mind. Let me rearrange a few things to my preference here. Ratigan will get to start with a buck since he is second. Alright, we'll shuffle decks up. I generally, when we play, we do allow like one full-on mulligan. So looking at Hook's hand, I'm gonna take a mulligan because there's no treasure map here, and I'm making it a pretty hard and fast roll when I play Hook. That if I don't have the treasure map, I mulligan. So no treasure map. Not a great hand, not a terrible hand. Ratigan's hand is... I don't like seeing two captures right out the gate, so I think I'm going to throw that back as well. Usually when I'm Ratigan, obviously gears are great. In a perfect world, you usually get tools first, or maybe like the robes. But, hey, there's robes. And it's good to not have the queen in the airship early, obviously. So, alright. So, I mean, obviously when you're playing by yourself, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief that you don't know every single card your opponent has in their hand. Try and play like you don't know. So... normally the first thing I look to do, especially if I'm an aggressive character, like Hook and Ratigan both play pretty aggressively, I'm going to... Now, I don't have like a big expensive card. Like if I had treasure map, I would probably try and go for greedy first turn and maybe get gold. Well, in this case, I'm not starting with any gold, so even then, I still wouldn't be able to play the treasure map. But I'm probably just going to fate on my first turn and cover my opponent's fate in this sort of situation, because I really want to try to keep my board clear until I'm ready to start vanquishing stuff as far as hook goes. So I'll go here, look at a buck. I'm going to discard anything that isn't going to be immediately useful. I hate to discard Starkey, but having him this early, I don't want to hang on to him. I'm going to keep the Ingenious device because it's just so good for the end game. We're going to play Give Them a Scare with my play action. Maybe we'll get an early Peter Pan. Nope, neither of those things are Peter Pan, so ditch those. We'll fate Ratigan. Balloon is no good. Alright, so we got a Dawson. Just going to go ahead and cover up that fate action over there. That will be it for hook. Ratigan, oh Ratigan. So Ratigan, normally I would fate my opponent first in an attempt to slow down whatever their best play is. Ratigan has now lost the option to fate by, unfortunately, being the second player. So, in that case, I think Ratigan's just going to go for advancing his board position. So we'll go here. We'll gain 3. We're going to play the Royal Robes, because the robes are great. Generally sticking stuff at the lair for all your items, so that if Basil shows up and blows something up, he has to go to a location that's not covering any of your icons, generally. It's a good move. Sometimes I'll play my stuff here. It just kind of depends on how the early game goes, especially like if I'm going to intentionally get Flaversham with the bat. If I know he's going to be sitting here most of the game, I don't want Sabotages to just pick off my stuff. So sometimes I'll play stuff here if I think that I'm going to have Flaversham sitting at the base for a big chunk of the game. I'm going to discard the Captured because it's not immediately useful. I'm going to discard the Uniforms because it's not immediately useful. And then we may as well play the Ruffians because we have the play. So we're just going to stick them there because it'll let me immediately spend 2 to essentially get the guy down for free. And that is it for Ratigan. So we're back to hook. So can't apply any additional fate pressure yet. Start advancing board state. Generally, the Jolly Roger is not that great for hook. I very rarely go there, so expect a lot of this in the early game, and then once the trees unlock, just expect a lot of back and forth between Skull Rock and the Hangman's Tree. Ratigan kind of bounces. You know, I'm going to be trying to go like this when my spaces are open between the fate spots, but obviously if I can advance my money and get ready to set up the queen, I'll go here more. If I really need to get something off the board, usually is the only time you end up going to Big Ben, because you need the vanquish actions there. Or if you have the Ruffians, it kind of lets you cheat moves, which is pretty good. So, hook, $3. I don't have anything to move, so I get to play 2 cards. I am just going to go ahead and start setting up. So we don't want to put out the Ingenious device early if we're not using it, because it's too easy to blow up. So we're just going to start setting up our Vanquish power. Hook plays super aggressively with his allies, so those will be our 2 plays. And that's it for Hook. Ratigan can finally start counterplaying Hook, so we'll go back, we'll activate the ropes, get $2. I can play 1 card. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and just stash up more bucks. More bucks for queenage later, and we'll fate Hook. Now, I know a lot of people are afraid to fate Hook early because you don't want your opponent to get panned, but like unless your opponent's down to like 5 or 6 cards, you want the percentage to be high before you just kind of back off. Don't be afraid to just fate early. So you can do really obnoxious stuff like sticking TikTok there. So now Hook will have to really slow down his advancement by dealing with that guy if he wants to keep good cards in his hand, which, spoiler alert, there's good cards in there. So that's it for Rat. Rat's going to draw a card. Don't want to see Robot Queen that early. Oh well. Alright, so Hook, not exactly living in Option Town. So he needs to take care of that crocodile before he does anything else. Which is very unfortunate. That's going to be a slow process. So he'll go here. He'll get a buck. He will... Man, he actually... I really don't want to discard any of these. I'm going to go ahead and play Give Them a Scare. To try and filter down to Peter faster. Alright, so we'll get rid of both of those. Yeah, getting rid of TikTok's going to be 2 extra turns out of our way. But that's alright. It's alright. Hook's still good. He's got this. TikTok's a 5, right? Not a 4. The sword doesn't quite get the job done, unfortunately. Okay. Back to Ratigan. We could go ahead and take out Dawson if we want to open up our fate spot for later. Because we can also just capture Dawson. Really, there's not a lot I want to play here. We definitely want to keep putting the pressure on Hook. Because we know Hook is going to try and move back and forth there. This one's actually kind of tough. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and get Dawson out of the realm. So we'll move. We will vanquish. And then gain 2. And we'll just play the bell to set that up for technically putting that at the lair. We might want Felicia later. Alright. Draw a card. So back to Hook. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Some anti-crocodile measures. You can move a guy, but I don't think we will. So with our other play, we're going to go ahead and just blindly or the opponent now and hope for the best. Lost Boys, well, that sucks, but that's fine. We can just dump them there for now. It's not the end of the world. So Ratigan's doing all right. He could probably stand to cycle a lot of these cards away. So he'll go over here. He'll gain 1. We're not going to move anything. We are going to discard the capture and the uniforms. We are going to go ahead and play Ruffians. We'll go here so we can net gain 1. And we'll fate. We're down to 7. This might be a bad idea. No, we're good. So now that we're down to 5, and it's almost 50-50 chance, we will probably stop fading Hook now and make him actually earn his Peter Pan play. But at least we've got a guy on every available spot for Hook right now, which hopefully slows him down. And we're about $6 away from the Robot Queen, which is pretty good. Well, that's pretty tasty. Alright, so Hook's got a date with a crocodile. Or I should say his henchmen have a date with a crocodile. And the Hook still has a play. So I'm going to go ahead and play. Yeah. I'm going to... Those boys are a little annoying. I'll go ahead and just stick another swashbuckler right here. I don't want to spend all my money, but I don't want to waste my play. So, because we got to keep getting pirates down. Put this back to Ratigan. So Ratigan, this is where normally I would probably keep Fate Pressure going. But one of those 5 cards is Peter Pan. I don't necessarily want to just flip Peter Pan and make it super easy. So, what I'm actually going to do, since I'm not worried about fading, is just getting 3 more bucks. Playing the gears. We'll go ahead and discard Fidget's list. I don't think it's necessarily that important at this point. It's a little risky. So we have our second play, and obviously we can't afford the Robot Queen yet. So it's risky, but we could play the airship. The airship's not necessarily the most important thing in the world for getting your victory condition with Robot Queen. You can still pull it off pretty easily, but I'll go ahead and wait. Josh cards. Hook. You're a crook, Captain Hook. So, Hook has definitely fallen behind in fading compared to what I would normally be doing in a game. So we're going to go here. We're going to gain 2. Or gain 1, sorry. I'm going to discard this Cunning. Not the best card against Ratigan, since Felicia's pretty much the only one who ever triggers it off. I'm actually going to ditch the Cutlass too, because it's not that valuable. We're going to spin our 2. We'll get out the Ingenious Device. I'm going to Fate Ratigan. Oh, look. He has Devious. So we get a Sabotage, which does nothing. Bummer. And we're going to trigger the device to move the Lost Boys here. Start trying to clear these guys out of our good spaces. Alright, so back to the rat. The rat is closing in. Still, once again, I would normally fate here, but I'm not super concerned about fating when I know it's going to most likely result in a Peter Pan reveal. So we'll go here, we'll get our 2. I'm going to move the ruffians over here, because it's better for them to be spread out potentially across the spaces where I could be covered. Can't vanquish. I'm going to play a Gears. I think we have 1 Ruffians left. It's probably not likely we'll draw another Ruffians right now, but if we did, that'd be so good. Alright, back to Hook. So Hook's going here. He's going to move the device with his move action. He's going to use the device to move the Lost Boys out of his zone of good. He's going to gain 3. And he's got 2 plays. So he's going to go ahead and play Hook's Case. And he's going to gain 1 with Hook's Case. And then with his second play, he's going to go ahead and play Shmee. Just pile up the Peter Pan killing crew and get cards out of my hand. Alright. Back to the rat. So the rat still avoiding the fate, so we'll just go here. Normally I would probably go here, but because we're waiting on Pan to come out now, we're waiting on Hook to have to play his cards to play Pan. And then once Pan's out, we'll go back to just fating our ever-loving brains out. Gain our 3. Discard Greatest Criminal Mind. We got 2 plays. We'll play Gears. We'll go ahead and bust out the Queen for 6. This is down to 9. Hook is so far behind in finding that map. This one might be over. So Hook finally gets back in shape here. Gains 1. Go ahead and discard that and that. And because we're so far behind, we're gonna go ahead and ditch this cannon. We'll fate the rat. See if we can do anything here. We'll just throw her at the palace, I suppose. And yep, we'll worry the opponent and hope that we nail it. We got it. So Pan's in play, we just need to find our map. There it is. So this is obviously one of Hook's, really Hook's only big downfall. Sometimes you just don't see the map. People are out building rat queens. What can you do? Ratigan's going to go here. He's going to spend 1. He's going to play the airship. He's going to use the airship. Ratigan has entered check. And he will fate Peter Pan. Now that Peter Pan's out, we have no qualms about just totally messing up his board state. We can't move Pan yet. We can go ahead and knock Shmee out, which is what I'm going to do. even though it's not covering up a new space, which is kind of annoying, but which means 4 strength. That's half of a Peter Pan conquest, so oops, yeah, so that's definitely what we want to do. Hopefully we're far enough ahead that it doesn't make a big deal on the Ratigan side anyway. Yeah, so Ratigan draws. And that is going to be game, because Hook cannot fate. So sometimes that's how you get it's kind of how things go. Hook was pretty desperate to hit on the last move and just couldn't do it. He couldn't get the lock undone. He's 1 turn behind there. If he hadn't been behind there, he would have been able to pull it off. But so there you go. Ratigan's your winner. Not a super exciting matchup, but it happens. Cool. So, that was just kind of a demo of kind of what I had in mind for some content. If you are interested in seeing more of that, just let me know, and I'll just I play a lot of games by myself anyway, so recording them is not a problem, and putting more content out there, so let me know if you'd like to hear more, and have a good one.